four-way. I know that name sounds a bit funny, but that is what it is. The name I was given. So let me just send the guys the link. And by the way, Masiya gave me the good idea of interviewing these players that are playing. So it's Masiya Mfundo, Banele Mhango, I think I'm saying it correctly now, finally, and Devon Smit and Keith Khumalo playing some rapid games against each other. I'm going to start off just maybe by phoning Masiya, as he was the one proposing the interview, and we can maybe hear from him a bit how he's feeling about the tournament. It's a 600 Rand prize fund tournament, and 400 for first place and 200 for second. So 2 nights of rapid chess, and welcome everybody. Okay. If he doesn't answer, we'll try one of the other participants. Okay. I don't know if my volume will be good enough to hear. I doubt. Let's try someone else then. Mr. NWU. What's up, Sepatu? We're watching Banele and Keith and Masiya and Devon play some rapid games tonight. Please let me know if my sound is working and everything's fine. That would be great, just before the event starts, that we know all the settings are good. As we do have South African internet mostly, us streamers need to just start a bit early, make sure all the settings are fine. You might notice me adjusting the board at the moment. I'll just fix that. What's up, Simpiwe? By the way, let's all just start off by just guessing who will win tonight's event, or the event in general. Maybe we can discuss who's taking home the event in general. My money is on Devon. So who is your money on? And by that, I think we're phoning Keith and just do a bit of a. Okay, thanks for saying everything's fine with the sound. I think I haven't warned the players that we are doing interviews, but I think just because they're 10 minutes to go, we can quickly interview one or two of the players. So they are going to be starting in 13 minutes. The Wolf is online. We'll keep to his TV. Call the client. Okay, so one interview declined. We'll try Banele and then Devon. Do a little interviewee thing before it starts. This isn't St. Louis Chess Club. This is just my own stream, so we don't have players ready for interviews yet. Or else, since we're just going to start, Banele is taking it. Okay. Mfundo. Okay, we have a Banele fan and an Mfundo fan in the house. I'm rooting for Devon. And no one's rooting for Keith so far. That doesn't look good. I don't know. Don't you like Keith's rapid play, or is there some other critique against Keith that I'm not sure of at the moment? Okay, so not one of the players are answering. Wait. Mfundo, another Mfundo fan. Okay, so you guys don't like him as a blitz favorite, but in rapid, suddenly he becomes your favorite player. Okay, I can maybe agree with that. He does have. Who is Keith even? Okay. Okay, we have fans. Everybody's got a bit of a fan club, it seems. So, but we need to remember this isn't blitz, so you can't just like the twins for no reason. That's why I'm going for Devon. Only one going for Devon over here. I think the slower time controls might suit him. Love the beanie, guys. Thanks. My girlfriend made it. Let's just try. Wait. I'll just tell him I'm phoning for a short interview. And then we can try. Okay. Let's try Devon. We haven't tried phoning him yet. Keith, you have a fan base, man. I was going to phone you now for a quick interview on how you feel about tonight. But you did not answer. Well, I think you declined, which is fine. If you can quickly take a call, it would be cool. I doubt any of the players are going to be... Gupta approach. Okay. Okay, so no one is answering yet. So I think if you guys want to play a blitz game against me while we wait, it's still like 10 minutes to go. You're welcome to throw a challenge over there. Well, else I'll just go down the list again. Now Keith thinks this is Bullet. That's why he's taking. Keith is his own fan. He doesn't need fans. So okay, we'll try Masiya one more time. Okay. I'm sure they are ready for this. By the way, Simpiwe can pretty much say to any South African that he wants to, whatever the hell he wants to say. I guess if you take down Devon, that just gives you, well, it gives you freedom to say whatever you want to say for at least a year, right? So he's still got some time on that. Or did he? When did you beat Devon, Simpiwe? Was that like? Wasn't that already longer than a year ago now? What's up?
Yo.
What's up, Masiya? How are you, man?
I'm good. Wait, what are you talking?
I'm
confused.
Sorry, no, I was busy. I didn't realize you answered the phone. No, I'm just doing a short interview with you then about tonight's game.
Cool.
What is your lineup so far? Who are you playing?
I think I start with Devon.
Devon, yeah.
Start with Devon as black, and then Banele as white, and then Keith as black.
Okay, so you got Devon first game, and the twins are battling it out. Do you think they will just be making draws and taking down the other twos? Do you think they're taking a draw tonight?
I think they might, but there's a lot of pressure, right? They still have to play and put on a show. I think they also know that.
They want to put on a show, but do you think they've got prepped games that they bring out to the table to make it look like they're actually playing?
I don't know if they'd do that, honestly. Maybe.
Maybe.
That seems like a lot of work.
Okay.
They might just rather play.
Yeah, maybe. Unless there's prize money involved, I think they're very cool about the prize money. Got some strategies. The next generation of hyenas, or what do you think?
Maybe not. We'll see.
We'll have to see.
Right now.
Don't want to comment.
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, how do you feel about your game against Devon, though?
Devon, I tried looking at his games. I honestly don't know what he plays against the Sicilians, so it's whatever. I've played him a few times, we'll see how it goes.
So you're expecting one E4?
I expect 24, yeah.
1E4, and you've got the Sicilian, the Sicilian prepped.
Well, that's what I play.
That's what you play.
How he plays against it, so
okay.
I'm just gonna stick to what I know.
Okay, we'll see what happens. So you know, yeah. By the way, so you're obviously rooting for yourself as the favorite. Sorry about the thumbnail.
No, I don't think I'm the favorite, but
some people
not sure about the thumbnail. It might be inaccurate.
The guys in the comments section seem to like your chances more than if it were Bullet or Blitz. So.
No, definitely. I also like my chances. I think in terms of understanding, okay, Banele is pretty good, but in terms of understanding, maybe me or Banele first.
You or
Banele.
Banele.
Other factors as well.
Yeah, like running into some time pressure. That's actually what you want to avoid against these young ones. You're all the oldest in the group, right?
Yes, I am. That's my biggest problem as well. So
these guys
I have to navigate that somehow.
Yeah, one of the people is asking what if Devon is listening to our conversation now. I don't really see what that would influence. I don't think an E4 player will suddenly play D4 to avoid the Sicilian.
Yes, I mean, I'm always fine.
Yeah. What is your prep for D4 in case Devon is listening?
Keith and Banele play D4, so
yeah,
I'm not going to say anymore.
Oh, okay, I get it. Is there anything else you want to add about the event, or it sounds like there's traffic where you are, or are you listening to some music?
Yeah, there's a bit of traffic outside, so I'll be booming on my headphones. But I don't think there's anything I'd like to add. Just I hope everyone enjoys the event. I'll be trying to win, yeah.
No, obviously that's what you should be doing. By the way, what would you be listening to on your headphones? What music do you listen to when you play chess?
Kaigo.
Sorry?
Kaigo.
I don't know.
DJ.
Okay.
He's a DJ.
A DJ, Kaigo.
Music,
can you spell it? Yes. Is that like Kygo?
Kygo, yes.
Ah, cool, man. I'm gonna go check it out. So some hip hop and stuff. It gets you in the mood for chess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You are with a lot of players on that one. Even Magnus. He likes himself some hip hop.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
I want to do some research into that. You know, I'm a music student, so I want to see. I also like some, like some hip hop when I play chess. Yeah. Anyways, okay, man, I wish you all the best for tonight and tomorrow night. We might throw in another interview soon, but I think it's nearly starting, so you probably want to get set up or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the chat, man.
Thanks.
Okay, good luck. Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. Let's rate the quality of that WhatsApp call. I hope you guys could also hear what was happening. That was Masiya. I think on that note, we need to also open up some of the players' pages. What's up, Lizo? Nice seeing you over here. I'm getting a challenge, but I'm not going to... Aware, Jack. I see you climbing that Blitz rating list over there, Jack. Overtaking us all the 2300s. So... you distancing yourself also on your road to 2400, I believe. So good luck with that. Okay, so games will be starting soon. Jack. Okay, it's no go yet. We've got the... Let's just look for the wolf and... We'll see as soon as they start. What's up, Langfish25? It's good to see you here. Everybody, go check out that username and profile. That guy's also got a really nice South African chess channel, and well, I like some of your other content as well, even though it's not all chess related. It's very interesting. And well, Langfish, we all want we all want you to host your 1,000 subscriber tournament soon. That will be very fun. So. If you could arrange something like that, that would be very cool. Okay, but for now, let's just jump on the players' pages while we wait. This is also your turn to throw in some bets, I guess. I'm hearing a lot of like guesses who might take the event. So there's I think two to three people saying Masiya so far in the comment section, but on the WhatsApp group, even more people. Okay, so Banele is definitely... Masiya thinks Banele is the other pick. Not seeing a lot of Keith fans, except for Keith himself, but that is how it should be. You should always be your own fan. And Devon, I seem to be the only guy favoring Devon. But we all know these are good signs when we can't predict who's going to be taking the tournament. And Langfish, I think they've started. Okay, so they're going to be playing a rapid game, 15+5, and the Wolf and Banele will be playing a rapid game as well, also 15+5. Okay, so Lizo is choosing Banele. And we have another, there we have a Keith fan, Angela Nkosi, giving her money to Keith. We figured that, Lizo. No, Banele is insane. Just off the records, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Daniel Caudry also seems to, I wouldn't say be afraid of Banele, but in his words exactly to me was, you can't even give Banele a pawn. So, I mean, that's quite good news, right? If the number one in SA is scared to give you a pawn, and that means he won't be playing any gambits against you. I should keeping to the TV. Okay, here we go. We have a Sicilian in game 1. Game 2 hasn't started yet. And this was what Masiya was saying. He doesn't know what Devon plays against. I'll get to what the tournament is about. Okay, so he's playing a C3 against a very classical Sicilian. So the only idea is just to press for the center. 15 plus 5. Oh, guys, wait, is this still prep? Does anyone know? Did he just blunder a pawn? I guess that's prep. That just came too quickly. I think he blundered the pawn. Masiya also blundered the pawn. Anybody care to comment on that? That was a pawn, right? Takes, and I'm sure there's still prep, but I'm not finding anything great. Oh wait, there's obviously queen check. So I am a putzer. That would be the problem with taking the pawn. And so Devon is playing a very closed type of game. He's... Yeah, can't give Banele a square. You can't give him anything. Don't give him chess pieces at all. Just give him no pieces. Just give him a king. You might end up still mating him. So this is what's up in this game. A lot of maneuvering to later on be able to play d4, especially if black goes knight f6 quickly. But it feels like Devon is still in opening prep. A very closed Sicilian in this game. Banele hasn't started his game yet. I don't see him online even. Oh, he's online. Okay, but we've got 2 games. For those wondering how the event works, we've got the 4 players. It's a double round robin. So tonight, they'll all be playing each other once with, I think, with white pieces, and then tomorrow, the second time, they'll just be inverting the pieces, the colors of the pieces. So that's how this event works. And okay, so far white has gotten d4. The c file is open. This is one of the small perks of having played c3 early on and then pushing d4 in the Sicilian. There's not always such great sacrifices on c3 for, the e4 square, because this file is open. White can manage to put a rook on the c file and be okay. So, by the way, notice the rapid ratings. Masiya just came out of the South African tournament where they were trying to select an online Olympiad team. All of these players did. Masiya was the only player playing in the adult section, in the open section. So, while Banele took home the prize from, the under 20, or was it under 21 section? I think under 20 section. So, Masiya losing some rating there with that tournament. I don't know if these two will be making a draw quickly. It seems very slow. We have 1d4. This is what these guys play, Banele and Keith. So let's give them a while to do something interesting. In the meanwhile, Masiya's going for the bishop pair, but I really do like the move bishop e3 here. This is kind of where this bishop wants to be now, always along this diagonal, where you could eventually kind of hope for even sacks on e6 or just some pressure. And although there might still be pressure on e4, knight c3, and you've got a very standard setup, everything's safe. Yeah. Devon played for a slight middle game advantage. These pawns are slightly further up the board, but as you know, they can also be weaknesses. Time control, there we go. We have bishop e3, just looking along this diagonal for now. And I don't know what Masiya's next idea is, but sometime he'll have to play for some kind of center. He's keeping the tension here so he can respond to whatever white plays and have some open squares to work with, maybe. So if something like e5 immediately, you can hope these pawns get traded off and you'll have an isolated pawn. So I think the first side to really commit into the center has to have a concrete idea. So we might just see something like bishop e7 now, or, something much slower, just a bit of pressure here, saying the queen needs to maybe keep an eye over the knight for a while before you can even think of pushing e5, because I'm just going to play bishop takes f3 and open your king wide up. So this is pretty much what's happening here. Let's go see what's happening in Banele and them's game. Okay, so I wonder if there's some kind of way to see if they've played this position before, but Okay. I'm not too sure, hey, if they've had this position before. Very slow. By the way, Keith likes playing with a closed position during the opening. So having a pawn like on c3 or something and a bad light squared bishop, he is a French player. So these very slow structures that could allow him later on to play expansive chess, expand in the middle game. This is what he really likes doing. But still seems very equal. They're still really blitzing out the moves. I think they want to show each other that they're not afraid to really play this game. And so they've been playing pretty quickly. I like the idea of putting the rook on the d file. This pawn on e6 is kind of blocking the file, and you're going to need to spend a few moves on this bishop before you can think about moving this rook to the d file. So you're also committing the rook to the c file. I like it. I'm not keen on the e file in this game at all, so Banele's move makes a lot of sense. He says there's nothing funny after takes, and c5. He can simply move his queen. I'm not sure where, maybe back to e2 or something. I don't know. Still seems pretty equal if this trade had to occur. Keith might have even considered knight f6 after all of that. Get some trades, and he says no, get my queen here, make something like this possible. Also open up the d file for some use. Okay, let's see what's happening in the other game. Okay, so two moves have happened. We have the typical Masiya move, bishop to a6. Even at... okay. At the Usas Blitz, bishop a6 is always a move you need to consider. Not going to the big, long diagonal, but just applying some pressure over here in white's camp. And providing some squares to use, so... Okay. Money on Masiya's next move, though. Devon responded with rook e3. So this rook can come over to the king side, play along the g file, right? Accompany a bishop h6 or something, which can always pick up the exchange, but that still seems kind of slow. Knight g5 suddenly, and we know this bishop now... You moved it to b3 for this purpose, so not saying a sack here works immediately. You can technically play knight g5 and bishop takes and win a pawn, but you're losing two pieces. Sorry, my arrows are very weird. Knight g5 takes, and then you're forking the queen and rook, and you'll get the rook. So a slightly exposed king, but black has got too many minor pieces. But trust me, these will be ideas that will come into play very soon. Knight g5 doesn't seem too bad. Rook c8 for black. Yeah, perfectly logical move. Makes a lot of sense. Bring your rook to the open file. c2 is even a square one day if this bishop leaves town. Rook c8. Okay, I like it. Let's okay, so the rook c8, knight g5. Let's just play devil's advocate here and say Masiya ignores... Oh, by the way, this rook to e3 move is all about keeping the knight out of this square as well. Taking the bishop here as Masiya wanted to do just now. So rook e3 prevents knight to d3. Masiya just wanted to play knight d3 and say, well, you're not moving your bishop away because then you're not guarding this square anymore. So this is also what it's about. I really like this move by Devon. Before moving anything else, like a knight out into the board, just rook e3. And you've got a rook on the third. Liking Devon's position slightly more than Masiya's. But nothing too drastic yet. Okay. Yeah, well, I'll get back to is that, how do I say your name? CPT Coman. Is that like Cape Town Coman? Or Cape Town KO man? I don't know. D5 for Masiya. Okay, I'll go back and analyze that now. Let's just see what's happening over here. We've got C5. Okay, so finally some kind of central break by the wolf. He also wants to partake in the center. What happened though? We missed queen here, and knight to e5. Okay, so the idea being to maybe get hold of this d6 square. Captain, okay, I see. Captain Coman. Okay, great stuff. Not Cape Town. CPT is short for Cape Town though, so... Or is it just CT? Am I weird? Okay, d5, no. So... Now, I don't know what Banele is exactly going to do here. I really like this break. And let's consider taking the pawn. Then suddenly you don't have defense over your e5 square. So takes and knight takes, there might be some issues. Your piece that's gone will be the issue. I don't know if there's a line that wins the material back. Suddenly the queen c8 move by Keith makes a lot of sense. It also protects this bishop, allows him to play something like c5 and not walk into a tactic like, let's say for instance the queen was on d8. Pawn takes and then knight takes, and then knight takes check, right? Recaptures and bishop takes with the queen on d8, recapturing some material. I think something like that tactically doesn't work anymore. Therefore, Banele now needs to recapture before he can recapture on c5, and I think that's his idea. If he doesn't take on c5, his other ideas might include d5. And d5 would be playing for a win. Recapturing wouldn't. d5, double-edged move. I would like to see it though. It's very brave. What's up, Dudley Norris? And, well, Captain Coman. I've figured your name out. Let's see. Okay, we were discussing this position just now, and Captain Coman asked us what happens. Okay, so Lizo commented d5 for Masiya. Okay, what happens when your queen side is not underdeveloped like Devon's? Okay, well, although it feels like Masiya has finished developing, kind of everything is connected, and there's not a lot of purpose for this bishop. I think that's one thing I noticed. And this knight is slightly out of play, right? So even this bishop. So if you can just manage rook to g3, suddenly this bishop will be moving with tempo. And tempo is a very important word over here. It means it just kind of develops automatically without you worrying about it. So that's kind of the situation over there. And then I assumed Liesel was talking about d5 as he just played it. d5, I think a good central move. And knight to e4. Oh, don't be surprised if you see some kind of sack exchange in the near future. Yeah, something. Where does this knight go now, by the way? g5? Oh no, what is the theory over here? What is Masiya's idea? Rook c8. I'm just seeing a pawn, right? So Masiya isn't part of the Pawn Grabbers Anonymous Club. He's addicted to picking up pawns. And this is actually weird when a pawn grabber just leaves a pawn hanging. You need to know something's happening over here. So if you recapture with the rook here, you've got... Well, what's the threat? It's going to be some kind of threat, right? Compensation for the pawn. Okay, so it's pretty simple to calculate. Bishop takes. Is there anything then? No, not that I'm seeing. Okay, so recapture and rook takes. Picking up a pawn. A rook on e4. And yeah, Devon's saying, you know what, Masiya, you can't give a pawn. Maybe it's the fact that the pawn's slightly backwards. But I'm not buying it. That just seemed... Because especially here, knight g5, knight takes, bishop takes. And actually black might be trying to win a pawn after bishop takes, queen takes, and knight takes on e4, right? On d4. So rook c8 doesn't make a lot of sense here. Rook c8, but knight g5, is he scared something else happens and h4 is the threat? But I don't get it. h6 and you have enough time to hide away your knight or make some kind of flight square for it. Maybe Masiya is thinking this queen and rook are supposed to be on the first rank now. So maybe the rook... I don't know, Masiya needs to show us what was the theory over here. Maybe he missed something with knight takes, had some bishop c4. That is a playable move. The pawn can't take because of queen takes. No, nothing. He had nothing. He needs to go back, bishop b7. And now maybe our... Oh, he gave the pawn so he gets the bishop here. Okay, thanks, Liesel, for making... Okay, so it's just about getting the bishop here. I don't know how great that is. Slightly backwards pawn, but a pawn's a pawn, right? What's up, Windsor and Kuna? And I'd be thinking about rook g4 now. Playing along this... I think rook g4, he needs to consider h5. Rook goes back though, and bishop h... That doesn't do much. h5 is maybe a bit of a threat. But you can go rook g4, rook g3. Everything's still protected. Rook g4 is what's being considered at the moment. And can someone please explain this Mdeva story? What does Mdeva mean? Because I know it's Devon you guys are talking about. Okay, by the way, Banele did play for more in this position. We left it over here. He did go d5. So, playing with an isolated passed pawn. A bit risky, but definitely playing for more. So, bishop f4 now. Seems reasonable. And h6. Oh, tricky. Tricky bishop. Don't take the bishop. There's a bit of a fork over here. You don't want to take that bishop. Okay. So, I don't think pushing d6 immediately will achieve too much. You're opening up this diagonal, and it feels like black would be able to make his way around for the pawn, or who knows, even play something like queen c6 and apply some pressure. Instead, Banele is being tricky and wants this square. Actually, this is what Lizo is also talking about. Don't even give Banele a square. And this is the square you shouldn't be giving him. Okay, Devon's still thinking over here. I don't know, you guys have any other moves for him? I'm thinking rook g4. Rook g4. That's what I'm heading at, rook g4. In any case. That's where my head is at. Definitely. Okay. Meanwhile, Keith needs to decide. You can't take the bishop, obviously, the fork, unless there's some kind of tactical idea. You need to move your queen first, and even moving the queen here, you're walking into knight takes with tempo against the queen. So nothing in this line seems to work. So he moves the queen. Okay, there weren't any other tactics, I presume. And it's now time, he says, to bring the queen over and apply pressure on the d-pawn. The d-pawn has been isolated. So bringing the queen over and somehow attack this d5 pawn. That seems pretty cool. So trades, and by the way, there might be something. No, still nothing. Takes, and this fork is pretty deadly. So it's still an untouchable bishop. Maybe Banele should be playing with the idea that the moment is being suspended. Okay, nothing like that. Wait, he might have a tactic. d6, knight check, takes the bishop. Is this what he's planning? So queen has to move. And he's planning to play this check and pick up the bishop with tempo. And, well, I presume this pawn is going to get pushed up even further throughout this line. Keith is walking into a deadly line here by Banele. And I think Banele knows it. This move just came instantly. I think even rook takes would have walked into a trade. The piece can't be taken. I was suggesting Banele play with the idea that the piece is suspended there. You can't do anything about it. But knight f6 is what is on the book. Keith is playing fast as predicted. Yeah. What's up, James? Finally joining us over here. We've got some nice chess for you guys tonight. 2 more games coming after this one. And the big guns on the SL9 group taking each other out. I'm very excited. In a slower time format, Blitz, this tournament would have been over, right? So, and we all know we've been between Banele and Keith. Devon with Blitz, not completely where they are. Yeah, Lizo, I'm not sure if it's about the end game, right? So, he's definitely looking to, after queen moves or whatever, to play knight f6 and trade and pick up the bishop, right? But after the rook moves, I'm thinking he's just planning bishop c6 and then to push d7. Or maybe even keep the pawn on d6 as a way to get a rook onto the 7th. I think he's keeping queens and rooks on for now and going to play with a spatial advantage, starting with the bishop on c6, a pawn on d6. So bishop takes e4. Oh. Okay, but bishop takes, and The queen is being hit, and now Zolani is hoping, like, or wishing there was a way to delete comments in the comments section, as on WhatsApp. Oh, do you guys honestly think Keith was calculating bishop takes and... Well, bishop takes as back doesn't work, right? Wait, you guys are right. Wait, you guys are right, bishop takes works. Bishop takes, queen takes. And that's game over? What was the story here? Sorry, I'm thinking about this like it's logical. What's wrong with bishop takes? You need to go pawn takes then. Oh, okay, so here's the story. And takes, and then rook takes d7. Also with tempo against this rook. Okay. Bishop e4 was good. You thinking bishop e4 was good, James? I don't know, man. Okay, so this was the position. You guys thinking bishop e4 is good. Bishop e4, takes, rook takes, right? And you're threatening this rook over here. You've got the passed pawn. You guys are more brave than I am, but I'm not playing this endgame against Banele. He'll play rook e1. This bishop will come to c6, or maybe just bishop c6 immediately. I don't know. In any case, but we did have a few more moves, sorry. So the queen moved, and then knight g5, looking to trade bishops like that. Takes, and bishop c6. Queen f6, and this is where we are at. Okay. I don't know, James and Lizo, you guys might have a point over there. I'm just not sure if I want to play that type of endgame. That passed pawn. But you know what, if we are GMs, we'll calculate to that and say, you know what, that's a passed pawn, but I'm just going to play f6, you know, and play king f7, and just pick up the pawn. It's a passed pawn, but it's a pawn that I'm going to be picking up. But even that doesn't seem to work, because it's a light squared bishop with a check. Yeah, Keith is under a lot of pressure over here. I wouldn't say drowning yet. This still seems playable. One passed pawn. He just needs something, right? Doesn't look good for him. Okay, so Banele's chances definitely good so far. Will be a big win for him. Let's go look at what's happening with this game. Oh, so when we left, it was over here. I think I was suggesting rook g4. But obviously, Devon's a much stronger player than I am, and he just said there's no good discovery with the knight. So let's just develop a piece for now. And then play d5. Trades and give back the pawn. Okay. He gives back the pawn. Yeah. You don't want to go for a position, I think, that against Banele that you feel is a slightly worse endgame, because the guy's endgames are pretty good, so he'll play for a slightly better endgame, and endgames have the quality. So I'm getting some questions here. Okay, Manangela is asking, is queen a4 winning for Banele? Queen a4. Oh, good suggestion. That's a pin, right? I wonder if he sees it. Okay, but queen a4, you need to consider rook e2. That's what I'm looking at. And then suddenly rook e1, f1 is necessary, and then simply queen takes d6. So I don't think queen a4 is working, just simply rook e2. And threatening mate, so you need to deal with that immediately. Or maybe, right? You're thinking queen a4 and then f3 after rook e2. But f3... I'm not buying it, right? So the moment you take the knight, the queen takes f3. So Mr. Captain Coman is saying that we have a sneaky Devon over here, that he gave back this pawn to get back to take the bishop pair away, and isn't this is going to be met by rook c7? Okay, so he hasn't completely lost the 7th rank yet, but you must be careful. So it captures in rook c1, that brings another rook to the game with tempo. And the queen doesn't seem to have so many great squares defending the 7th rank. So actually, wait, no. No, actually the bishop needs to move first. Good point, sorry. My calculation included a bishop that wasn't on c1. So in this game, Devon's giving back the bishop here. Getting back the bishop here by giving back the pawn. I don't know how necessary that was. Maybe he just didn't like the looks of rook g4, h5, stuff like this. This is kind of my style. I would have liked playing rook g4. Seems hyper aggressive, but instead plays very neatly. Keeps the game very balanced. So his chances are maybe looking good for entering onto the 7th now. So yeah, Masiya needs to prepare for this rook coming over here. White's better now, I'd say. This rook is really well advanced. A lot of tempo moves were coming, so h6 was necessary to keep queen h5 from happening. Queen h5 and rook g4, stuff like this is happening pretty fast. So h6 kicks back the knight. Ooh, great square, e4. Look at that baby, jumping into d6. Who doesn't want their knight going to d6, right? In any case, what's happening over here? Okay, so queen a4 we were saying doesn't work. So instead queen c3 was looking, and Banele's being quite persistent. He wants to go for the endgame. By the way, time's running kind of low, and he's losing this great passed pawn. Wait, is he getting anything back? Wait, he's just losing the pawn, guys. Okay, so whoa, and down on the clock now. He wanted queens to be traded down. Said, okay, well, I'm losing this pawn, but I'll get this pawn, but that doesn't happen, right? So if you want that to happen, you're going to be losing your bishop. I think maybe what's wrong with queen takes and then rook takes. This must have been what he was looking at when he went for the line, but he didn't play it. We'll have to ask him afterwards. What was the story with queen a3? Queen takes there. Because I think maybe that's a way to hold on to some material. Because he's playing down a pawn. At least he's got the bishop. But you know what? Suddenly I'm gonna put my money on this game as a draw. Unfortunately, Fusi is also saying queen a4 is good for white. So a lot of people saying over queen a4. But I don't know if you guys were analyzing rook e2. I don't know. Rook e2 seems really good. So I'm marking this game down. I don't know. I don't think it was winning after queen a4. As a draw, it's going to be a draw now. And this game might have some more potential. Devon can still play knight d6. I mean, this seems playable. Knight d6 with tempo and queen moves, and then maybe just defend that pawn or something very lame. Or you could even consider some line where you take the rook, try and insert check, capture with your queen. I don't know. He can move his rook with tempo. Okay, so he's going for this line. Masiya just blundered, guys. Queen b8, he blundered, and in between check and queen takes. You can't move this knight. You need to recapture with the rook, and you're going to be playing down the exchange. You guys want... there's not really a tournament link, but I'll post the game link. So here you go, Riddix. Here's the one game link. Queen a4, rook e2, rook f1, queen takes d6. I'm still getting some comments on queen a4. Blunder, yeah, we have a blunder here, so Masiya is going down against Devon. Devon's my favorite going into the tournament. And I still think we're reaching a draw over here, although Banele is down on time. And Keith has got his knight. He'll be very happy about getting a knight. Sorry, I'm heading back to this. I'm getting a line here. Queen a4, rook e2, rook e1, rook f1. Queen takes d6, and oh, the move is rook a d1. Okay. How many attackers is that? Okay, rook a d1. You're missing a move. Mr. Menenschle. Your rook's on e2. Rook d1. Game on. I'm just saying. You want to play rook a d1 there? I've got a rook on e2, which is going to d2 after rook a d1. And we're still playing, although maybe you trade, right? Takes, and then this rook to d1. Yes, like that's a deep line. Okay, but this is not what happened. Okay, Sorry, Manenhle. I think your line works. It just goes a bit deeper before convincing me. I think it works, right? So Queen A4. Banele missing his winning chance. And down 2 pawns now. Whoa, did he just blunder? He blundered the pawn here. I think maybe he thought Queen E5. There's no way. He's getting Queen G5. But how great is this pawn versus the one that just left the board? Keith will be playing for... Okay, James, you've got a point. Sorry, I'm being very stupid. But it's good you guys are here in the analysis. So this is the line we've been calculating a few times. So something like this, and then queen takes. You're saying instead of queen takes, you can just move the knight. Yeah, that moving the knight there, you're threatening to even exchange. You've got a rook attacking on d6. And, well, that knight's looking very fresh. So definitely Queen A4 wasn't winning, but Banele was definitely not worse in that position. And suddenly he's down 2 pawns. Keith has got his fantastic knight around. A lot of time on the clock. Although the +5 does equal out things, so I'm not sure about the result yet. Banele will still be putting on a fight. Look at that, some pressure on f7. The story over here is check, right? And you need to hope there's some compensation of the knight f3 check, king g2 or something. Oh, of the queen enters. So this might be a draw soon. Meanwhile, Keith, Masiya, what did he do here? He just gave up his rook. He needed to recapture and gets the pawn back. But this rook is on the 7th, and Devon is definitely playing for the win. Where are you guys saying there was bishop takes f7? We're probably talking about this game. Bishop takes f7. When here, yeah, there was a check, so there was no bishop takes f7. Oh, tricky. Keith and Banele are throwing tricks at one another over here. I'd be so thankful if that check works, right? I think it works because after takes... No, it doesn't work. White can recapture the pawn. You might have f3 check in the end. Who cares? Black's pushing a pass pawn through. And I think... Whoa, look at this crazy move. c5... allowing takes, says, you're not getting your bishop back in time. This pawn is running through, and Keith is taking this game now. I don't know where the compensation is, right? How do you defend this pawn? You're going to have to do some manual moves, and suddenly, I don't know. This isn't completely working yet, but Keith is now definitely pushing for the win over here. Okay, Riddix, but I said just now, so the link goes to the game. This is a manual pairing tournament. The players are playing against one another. White resigns. Down goes Banele. c3, he says nothing to do. I can't go for this captures, and c2. Bishop's just too far away. Nothing to do here. Let's go to this game. Masiya down on time. 5 seconds there, 4 seconds. I don't know if they'll obviously need to watch the rest of the game, of their opponent's games. They can't continue this match without going to the spectator room to check out when the game's over. So, okay. Okay, Zolania, I'm not completely following you. Maybe just send a move number and I can go to that game. Yeah, Khumalo takes the lead and silences the haters, right? Everyone was rooting for Banele to start this tournament off with. Meanwhile, Devon is playing up a pawn, can play queen e7, pick up another pawn. Doesn't even want that, brings the third rook to the c file. And these rooks are being felt. Masiya says, let's move this pawn. Get him out of danger. We can play knight d5 soon. This is going to be forced. And then I think picking up a piece, that should be enough to win the game. Unless knight d5 is your plan. Takes. Knight d5 doesn't seem to work. Yeah, Siya's in time trouble. He's tactically found a way just to hold on for a second, attacking this rook. But I'm sure Devon has got something nasty up his sleeves now. Well, you need to be careful. You could blunder back some of the initiative very quickly. Now queen e7 wins the knight. I think... Where? Queen e7? What? Queen e7 wins the knight? Yeah, I think you were talking a moment earlier. It doesn't win the knight. Masiya found queen f4. Yeah, you missed queen f4. Okay, so we've got knight f4, and we have two rooks on the 7th, so I'm expecting something like this, and then picking up these pawns. And then Masiya won't be lasting too long. Yeah, and now just simply rook a7. I think you can start resigning here. Start resigning. To start resigning, that is like a new term I think I invented now. It basically means you lose a few more pawns, run into time pressure after every move, and then you resign. It's those few moves you play before you resign, called starting to resign, start resigning. Okay. Okay, but I'm excited for the next game. The pigs on the 7th, they're brutal. Be careful. Ooh, I don't like this idea by Devon. It'd be an obvious choice to go for the e-pawn, right? But maybe not immediately, so maybe just a check and then go for the e-pawn. But that was when the rook still needs to guard f7. But this seems good too. Masiya's holding on by a bare thread. He's not starting to resign completely, although he's got the exchange down, and this passed pawn. Yeah, people are saying only a magician in defense can save this now for black. And one of the tricks you could maybe use to maybe get some kind of compensation in this position is to draw out this king somehow and hope for a fork. Because even currently, if you do manage to fork these two rooks, they'll slip out of it with a check. So that's maybe what you're hoping for. Ooh. I'm not buying it. Masiya can be resigning if he wants to, but okay. Down the exchange, still got the knight around. Not sure what the king is doing on b3. Maybe just looking to be annoying. Confuse your opponent, draw him into the time trouble with you. But I don't know. This is too much for Devon. Devon's got this. You can even give him a GM here. He's just going to be pushing this pawn through. Although it is slightly annoying that the rooks aren't behind the pawn. Here, there might be this point that the king is slipping in. Ooh, be careful now, don't blunder your knight. But I'm wondering what is his plan after this. Is he just going to back off the rook and... I don't know. Okay. He gets the rook behind the pawn. Needs to keep the rook here to defend the pawn. Meanwhile, Masiya's trying something with these pawns. Bit of time pressure. Okay. Okay. Yep, you guys are right. Matt Pond could swindle this. If anyone was going to swindle this game, it would be him. He'd be finding some way. Although, I'm thinking Masiya's doing a pretty good job so far. Look at this. This g-pawn's would have been gone, and he's luring this king out. This is kind of what you need, right? There's somehow some tempo moves, and I don't know. I'm just trying to imagine a situation. Ooh, nice move. What happens? There's no check. Great. This check? Ooh. The guy that wins still up on the clock. Not a clean conversion though. Going after a different pawn. Oh, this could be where Masiya slips back into the game, going after the passed pawn. Unless Devon's still playing this. Can't play something to stop that. And now suddenly rook c8 is being threatened. You might need to play knight a7, but you've got 10 seconds on the clock. I don't think you're finding knight a7. Oh my word, okay. Masiya finds knight a7. Stopping that idea, but simply rook c7 now, and can't you go picking up the rest of the pawns with your king? He says, who needs the rook on c7? I'm just going for this pawn, this pawn. Let's go for this one. And I'm having a ball. I'll be playing up a few pawns. I can even trade down all of this material. Okay, but we'll see this now. Oh, is his plan rook a1? a8, sorry. Rook a8. With the threat of rook h8 doesn't do anything. You can trade, then play rook h8. But then king here. I think you can even trade everything and go king takes h5. The king might be too slow. The king's too slow. You could do that. And he goes for it. Oh no, wait, he's just winning a piece. Clever tactic. Clever tactic. And Masiya goes down. So, 2 winners so far in this round. Well, Keith and Masiya. No, wait, Devon. Keith and Devon. They're the winners so far of this round. Okay, let me see. What's the next pairing supposed to be? So round 1 was Banele and Keith. Keith won. Now Devon and Mfundo and Devon won. And now we've got Mfundo and Banele and Keith and Devon. And really, wait, yeah. Okay, so Keith and Devon, let me just place the next round's pairing here. We've got Mfundo and Banele and Keith and Devon upcoming. I'm not sure when they will start. Hopefully soon. But I think they are allowed like a 5-minute break. Who knows? But maybe they're starting immediately. Let's just jump to these clever tactic but fail. Yeah. But it did not fail, Riddix. It worked. So this is round 2 coming. We're getting a computer analysis done, it seems. Great game there, but I think mostly all of this graph showing over here was just being the exchange up. So as soon as he won the exchange, this kind of happened to the graph, and then it was just a matter of time. But Masiya really kept on playing, so actually never had a good shot at the game. Yeah, he had some equality over here, and the move would have been bishop takes d5. So what was the computer suggesting over here? I was thinking rook g4, and I saw the computer thinking it for a split second. But it doesn't seem to be too great. h5 was my concern, but then rook g3. And knight takes d4. Wow. Does that work? Why? Oh, the bishop's hanging. So you can play rook takes c1. And apparently the bishop pair versus this exposed king. You might be getting back the rook as... No, you're not really. Oh, that's a crazy line that could have happened in the game, right? These games have the potential to explode. Wow. Devon playing really good chess over there. Let's go back. You guys were talking about the situation where White was completely winning, but look at this. Banele was never completely winning, and let's flip the board. Precisely... Okay, so they're saying that round 2 is going to start. Okay, great stuff. Okay, so mainly everyone was concerned about the situation right over here in Keith and Banele's game. Queen a4, rook e2. Now we can finally just see it. Rook f1, right? And I think I was making the blunder over here of going queen takes d6. So that's why you guys weren't well happy with my idea. But knight e5, an idea that James found out, was I think a really strong idea. You still got pressure over here. Knight g4 still possible. This looks really good for black. Suddenly you're allowing Keith to play. So also why queen takes d6 is a blunder. Rook a d1, right? And I was thinking, well, you have rook d2. I was very happy about spotting this, but simply takes, and your queen is protecting that d1 square. Okay, so the game's starting. Devon and Keith over here. And Keith with the white pieces. And this game, we're waiting for... Yeah, we're waiting for Mfundo and Banele to start then. Okay, we'll see. Okay, I'm not sure. Okay. They will be starting soon. We have here Devon and Keith with the white pieces. Expecting 1d4. they've played a lot of games before, but I think these are blitz games. Oh, 60 plus 5. So the last classical game they played, Devon won. And the other game was played in the South African Olympiad selection tournament. And that game also, Devon won. So he seems to be pretty comfortable in these slower time controls against Keith. But in the 3+2 games, I think Keith is just owning him. All the 3+0 games. Oh, yeah, these were 3+0 games. But these last two games, they might be a sign of some dominance by Devon. But who knows? Keith might have not had the best games then, and he will be trying to prove something in this game. By the way, what pieces... So Keith had the black pieces once, and the other time he had the white pieces. So, okay, here they're blitzing out, opening prep. I don't know, my money... okay, so this is all prep. Quick stuff being blitzed out. They know theory really deep over here. This is a round robin tournament, Riddick. A double round robin. Tonight we're watching everyone play everyone for the first time. And tomorrow we'll be watching them play everyone for the second time. Liking Devon's side of this narrative so far. Black has got a lot of equality. This pawn's hanging currently. Think it might be a blunder to take it, right? So I think rook here, right? And your queen only has this one square, and then suddenly a bishop takes or something. I don't know. It's some kind of bishop tempo move. But they traded down into this very quickly. They both know the theory over here. Let's see what is Masiya and Banele. They've just gone. They've just started playing. Okay, great stuff. This time Masiya is opting for c3 in the Sicilian. So this could end up being a slow Sicilian. Going d4 later on. He's doing exactly what Devon did just now. So Banele isn't a think here. So I'm not sure. Does he not know the theory? I can't think he doesn't know theory. He's probably trying to remember a line he went through recently, if I had to put my money on something. In any case, over here, the e-file is being closed down. There's some pressure on e2, but also look out for this d4 square. This is what Keith's hoping for, and don't go pawn shopping, I guess, maybe this way, or because you might get a rook on the 7th. But also looks like this might be a draw. Opposite side colors, bishops. If we see more material trading down. Symmetrical structure, white's got this extra pawn, but I don't think it means too much. Some people in the comments saying, well, these guys are fast and furious. So a lot of what happened now in the opening, it's all psychological. And by the way, even though this is a stupid pawn, black can pick it up immediately. Although not, who knows, okay, how great this e-pawn is. I think psychologically it might mean a bit for Keith to be up a pawn in a fairly straightforward position. He now wants to go for the endgame. I'm sure he's not going to get rid of all the rooks. He says, let me play with this pawn in the endgame. And you know what, Devon might say, you know what, we can go for exactly that thing you want. I don't see you making anything more out of this than a win. Than a draw. So, who knows? That's where I'm putting my money. Masiya and Banele. What is happening over here? Still nothing, guys. Can I confirm? Yeah, it's a pretty drawish line. They went for it very quickly. Both sides very adamantly showing each other they can come up with the moves just as quickly as the other side can. They know the prep for the line very deeply. So it's all psychological in that game. Anyways, I think Keith is especially angry after losing two very slow time format games against Devon. So can I confirm that nothing's happening in Banele and Masiya's game? Or am I missing something? Okay. Let's go back here. What Devon and Keith. What is the story? Banele was expecting knight f3. Knight f6 might be coming. Okay. Fusi's making a joke as well, saying Banele says he forgot the line. The Giri effect. I'm getting a call here. Hello? Ja, nee, gaan nie kan nie. Ek stream nou. Nee. Ekskuus, ek het nie weet dis vir vandag of enigiets nie. Ekskuus. Okay. Okay, cool man, dankie. Bye. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting call actually. That's about an arbiter's course upcoming. They want to train arbiters like myself to be able to host online events. So I'm very excited. And so the online events are chess rated. I'm not sure how much I'm supposed to be saying about this, but this is all good news for us. Okay, wait a minute. So there's a bit of a think over here. No one wants to go for whether to go for the endgame or not. So what are his options? If he ignores the queen, he'll be having to make some kind of passive move to defend the pawn. And then possibly this pawn. And if he takes the queen, what's he really scared of? He'll need to defend the pawn, first of all, I guess. Keith might have something here. I'm not too sure. If he gets a second pawn, then this will be looking good for Keith if he can get the second pawn, either one of these pawns off. Even though the bishops are opposite sides, there's enough time to really grind this game, so we might be looking at a very long game over here. But if not, this is just looking like a draw. Yeah. Captain Coman, how did you place in that essay online tournament? And how do you guys currently feel about cheaters? Because I am... obviously, my honest opinion is that I don't think there's morally anything worse you can do. I mean, you can even go murder someone. Just please don't computer cheat in chess. Okay, Banele is really thinking long. Yeah, this is like time odds or something funny. Okay, just nothing's happening here. Come on. Is he trying to come up with some special line himself? Yeah, he can't berserk, so he's manually berserking. Meanwhile, nothing's happening in this game. So guys, we're just chilling it out now. The one game wants to go... the one guy needs to decide to go for the endgame or not, or to somehow creatively hold on to the pawn. And the other guy needs to decide what to do in the game altogether. Oh, there we go. D5. Finally. Okay. Yeah, this is called the Alipin variation. Yeah. D5. Usually a good strategy. Not sure about D5 immediately though. I've seen players play E6. So back here, another option was E6 to prep D5. And actually, I play this quite often. You can trade, queen takes, and eventually knight f3, bishop here, stuff like that. And actually, there's a very inventive way of playing. I don't know if Masiya is stealing this from me, but you can push c5, later on gambit this d pawn, whatever, and then you actually... Wait, where is Lizo now? Lizo and I, we actually played the Alipin a long time ago, before he knew the theory behind the line. I actually beat Liesel with the white pieces over here. But this is, I'm talking about last year at Heidelberg, that tournament. We had something like this. And now Black's trying to isolate this d-pawn. There's a lot of theory. I don't know. If you know the theory about how to play with an isolated d-pawn, then this is fine. But you also should try and know how to play against it. So the one perk of it, right, is that it's contributing towards the center and giving you some squares to work with. The downside is that it's isolated, so that means there aren't pawns around. You can try and nip it off of the board and play up a pawn. That pawn would be this e-pawn then. Sup, Liesel? Yeah, you're still here, man. Our game wasn't this neat. Went for a lot of queen checks or something, like a queen... attacking the queen for a long time or something, trying to play with tempos. But that was when Liesel was still in 1800, so I'm not sure if I'm allowed to brag about that game or not. If he was a 2000, I would have been bringing it up way more often. So yeah, you wasted a lot of tempo with your queen, man. But I don't know where the game is. I might have it somewhere on analysis, but or some stored somewhere. But I do remember I actually did blunder the entire game back. But I don't know, with classical and stuff, I read some stats somewhere that said that even like 2100s at least blunder the entire game back once during the game. So there's some position where they just they don't hold on to that advantage forever. You just need to pick up on it at the right moment. That, whoa, there's a line this guy is just missing at the moment. So it's only when the players become stronger that they don't they don't blunder anymore, the game back at least. So there are a few moments of equality, I think, as the players become less strong. So I mean, there's just proof that I'm very less strong. I also just blundered that whole game back at one point. I think it was even losing, but if your opponent trusts you, he's not going to be looking for a way to win the game. He'll just be looking for a way to just stay in the game. Captain Coman, I think it was rating limited. Oh. What event were you playing in, Captain Coman? I can't really figure out. Okay. Oh, we've all got, I think, I don't know. There must be some way to at least show the real standards of South African players, because when we do manage to play against international players, it's always on their turf. And I think that kind of already puts us at a disadvantage. Psychologically as well, we don't have a lot of strong players. Well, they do, so they kind of know their country's got this strong chess tradition. And when you're playing against someone with a lower rating, you just psychologically a lot stronger than they are already. So although chess is supposed to be completely equal, you start with the same amount of pieces and everything. So I don't know, maybe online chess is the way to go. We do have some strong players in terms of online chess, and that's actually an equal ground to go measure people on. Rating is so relative in general, so I'd say pride yourself in your online rating. Okay, I like the bishop on A2. This is a Magnus bishop. Your opponent will forget about it, and someday it's just going to help you with some kind of tactic along this diagonal. And it's also out of the way of all your pieces, so you've got like a lot of space to move around without... yeah, we've got an isolated queen pawn. Here we go. I don't know. This is just a move to put pressure on, preparing to bring the other rook to the file. For now, Masiya will be able to defend, but at the right time, I think pushing it is also exposing it even more, but I don't know. He needs to do something with it productively while it's still here. He needs to make it last. I don't know when the first over-the-board tournament in SA will be. Gosh, I don't know. I'm kind of seeing like a nostalgia, like when you analyze a culture, there's like this big nostalgic feeling under chess players for over-the-board chess. It's actually pretty cool. Back when it was over the board, there'd be these players fighting for online chess, but now that it's only online chess, there's people fighting for over the board. It's this really nice dynamic that shows the value in both of the formats. Okay, let's go back to the other game. I think for now, Banele is just trying to add more pressure to this pawn, but it doesn't feel like too much. I'd be very interested if Masiya can try and squeeze something out of this pawn, some positional like advantage. If he can manage to do something positionally, some space or something to elevate an attack out of. Oh, okay, that's actually a good question. So Paul Simpson set up this very nice thing. Wait, let's go back to... Oh, by the way, this game will be running... What happened here? This is just going to be a draw. Black has offered a draw. So What? Okay, so he took the pawn and simply just went for the other pawn. Okay. Okay, guys, Devon showed us a very simple way to draw this game, even if this pawn gets off. So we don't really need to keep our eyes over here. Meanwhile, we wait for Masiya to make a move. Let me just talk about the SA Online ratings list. Okay. The pawn won't be pushed. The d-pawn, Liesel's saying that the d-pawn won't be pushed. He'll use it to get initiative, whether by sacking it or using it to provide outposts for the knight. Yep, these. But I do think at the right moment, the pawn can be pushed to do something, right? So if you're spotting something like this, and there's maybe something concrete down the line where this doesn't work yet, but if you can pick up a pawn maybe for pushing it, then it might be used. Okay, but let's talk about the SA Online rating list. This is a very nice thing Paul Simpson came up with. Here we see some of the players that are playing tonight. Devon, Keith, Banele, Masiya. And pretty much I think the main aim of the list is to get the blitz ratings up. And, well, okay, the pawn is pushed, by the way, Liesel, immediately. I don't know, this doesn't... Well, where does the knight go? Knight g4, queen here. Unfortunately, there's no bishop e3, which would have been helpful to get the pawn because that knight is currently undefended. I don't know if Masiya's too hastily with this pawn. I think maybe prepping the pawn push. I don't know if it will yield anything just yet, but okay, let's see. But back on the... Oh, what's up, Dante? This is a... Oh, Dante, you are on the list too. So this is the SA Online list. Here we've got International Master Dante Bierkes just below me, eh? So you need to... I know we all like chilling on that number, but... Oh, there I went onto your account. So if you click on the name, it also takes you to the account. So Paul Simpson figured this thing out, and it gets updated, I think like every hour, hourly. So 6:13, we can expect it to get updated in another 13 minutes. But okay, so knight here is, this can't honestly be the plan. There's just too much hanging and stuff. So this might have been my plan, but just waiting a move. Just one more move. After bishop e3, then this looks fresh, right? And then pushing the pawn and going for this. Said Masiya says this is how we'll go for it. I don't know, does Masiya have anything here? Queen here seems fine. I also don't get it. Why push the pawn? How to get on that list? Okay, so go to your WhatsApp. Let me just show you. Wait. I'll be friendly here. I'll be a very friendly guy. Wait, let me... Wait, I'm back. Okay, so you're going to go on WhatsApp, and then you're going to go to the SA Online group. And then you're going to go into the group description, and you're going to go fill out that Google form in the description. And those ratings are being extracted from lichess like every hour. Because b6 and bishop f4. Masiya did find more than I was expecting him to find. Actually, this seems quite good. I don't know, maybe the IM, which is in the house, can say what he thinks, whose position he prefers, because this game is walking into a draw. They did make a draw, so there's only one game still happening. And it's this game. Does Masiya have enough to play for a win over here? Who knows? Maybe the IM can tell us. Queen e7. What? That's the e7 square. I don't know. What's going to be the next move over here? This feels better for white, right? So pushing the d-pawn seems to have... Well, it's put the knight on the rim, push the queen back, and develop this bishop. So it seems to have done more than we... Oh, Rudix, aren't you on the WhatsApp group? Okay, here, let me... I don't know if the link gets revoked pretty often, but you can send your number. I'll ask the admins to put you on the group. But I can also just give you... I can send the form. Here's the form, wait. For that list. But I was going to say, ever since the list has been out, people have There are a few more 2300s and 2200s. It's like everyone has upped their game online, and I think upping your game online isn't the easiest thing to do, and you actually need to improve your chess. So knight e8 is tried. Try to put f3 knight on c6. That is the IM's plan over here. That would take 2 moves, and it's like Banele anticipated your comment. You're not getting that knight there now, are you? Also, this knight is kind of guarding that square, but I'm guessing your plan makes sense because you're just going to kick away that knight with tempo, and you'll be landing there. Still something to maybe try and go for. Maybe bishop e5. I'm liking the long-term thinking over here by Dante. Okay, so Masiya goes for this immediately. If we were to go for Dante's idea, just like that, bishop e5, because remember, pushing something like f6 is just a horrible idea. Can never open up. So you can't challenge that bishop like that. If you're going to trade it down, then I'm definitely hoping for this square after playing something like b4. Getting a knight over there seems very, very nice. Okay, Masiya goes knight to d4 immediately, which is also maybe quite good. Yeah, do I have to watch out for tactics? I know we all need to watch out for tactics. Okay, so again, going for this now, maybe, right? Saying that trade off your light dark squared bishop. You might have some problems here one day. Although the knight can fianchetto, not very comfortable for black. Masiya is doing a great job. Not listening to Lizo and my advice, he goes ahead and he pushes the d pawn and gets this bishop out with tempo. Even now, this knight on e8 is looking for a new home, but very slow for black to get out of and into the game. If we just look at the placement of the pieces, well, white seems to be very dynamic. Pieces that close to the center and seem to be doing stuff. Okay, cheers Dante. Are you gonna go watch out for tactics for us? That would be great. We aren't great on tactics. Yeah, Masiya prepared. Masiya's opening comment was that he doesn't want to say what his preparation is for d4 games at the moment. So I'm not sure what he'll get up to if d4. Yo, Fumulani, man, I'm not sure, right? So they revoke the group link quite often so that randoms don't just join the group. But if you comment your cell number, I could maybe, I'll just ask the admins to, Dante hasn't left yet, he's still watching, lol. he needs to notice when someone drops a pawn, so that's true. Currently Masiya is picking up a pawn, if he wants to pick up a pawn. But yeah, comment your cell number and I'll send it to the admins. I don't know if there's a way to privately send someone something over YouTube, like a YouTube inbox. I'm not sure, hey, but if you want to do it like that, also to guard your own privacy, do it like that. Okay, queen takes, rook takes e7. Rook takes e7. And then what? Are we sure our FM is blundering a pawn? Well, he must have something, right? I don't know, Masiya's the type of guy to go for. It's not the RSA addiction chess group. It's a different chess group. It's a bigger chess group with more interaction and people on it. It's the SO Online chess group. Yeah, Masiya's playing really well over here. Keith is in the comment section saying the same. He's scared for his buddy's chances. Okay, rook takes e7 comes with tempo. Let's bear this line in mind. Rook takes e7. And this bishop needs to move or you need to defend it. But I don't think you're going to play rook d8 to defend it. So, okay. Where does the bishop move to? That's my first question. And currently there aren't any squares, so you might need to move the rook. Oh my word, this is actually a great line to go for. Because the bishop doesn't have any great squares, unless you're planning to play bishop takes d4 first, like this. Okay, so bishop takes d4 there. And you can choose which bishop you want to take. I think you need to take on d4 first, because otherwise c3 might be hanging with that rook over there. And now the bishop can maybe move back to f4. But your point might be here that you can pick up a7 as well. Wow. Masiya can pick up 2 pawns. Devon and Keith is a draw, guys. They made a draw. They blitzed out the game, went into a drawish line, they made a draw. Meanwhile, Masiya is putting on the heat over here for... He's turning it up, guys. He's just turning up the heat. Knight takes f5? Whoa! But queen takes, so that's an idea. Knight takes f5, black can blunder, queen takes. You've got knight takes check, and then you can recapture. But Banele won't be blundering that. Instead, there's a concrete line in which you go queen takes, bishop takes, rook takes, right? Attacking this bishop. You really don't want to play rook here. I can't imagine anyone playing rook over there, because then something like knight c6 is just going to be so painful. Or maybe not knight c6, but I just can't see the rook going there. Just doesn't seem very nice. So if something else, right? So queen, bishop, sorry, arrows. Queen, bishop, rook, right? Then we're going to see, if we do see bishop, rook, this bishop moving finally, this a7 pawn is also hanging at the end of that line. Mfundo, I think he's going to be playing up 2 pawns, if you guys ask me. He needs to go for this. He's really thinking deeply, which is concerning. If he's not going for a simple pawn, that's really concerning. Am I missing something, guys? James, you're in the house. Queen d7, no, bad move, maybe. Okay, queen takes, bishop takes, rook takes. Okay, and this line going for bishop takes loses another pawn, so that doesn't work. But moving your bishop doesn't work as well, because this knight is just such a great piece, and it's going to double more pawns. So the only possible move there is rook to d8. But I'm criticizing that move the whole time. It just doesn't seem like a nice move. But why not? Okay, first of all, this knight is still around. Maybe that's why. Okay, so this is the situation. With the rook on d8, which kind of seems necessary. Or else you'll be losing the a7 pawn. Okay, so what to do then? As white. It seems like there must be something. Yeah, queen d7. Just go queen takes d7. It just seems great. It's a bit concerning that Masiya is thinking so long. It's like he's planning something else, and I don't like whatever else he's planning. Maybe he says this works, and then g4. What? Guys, I think I found it. I think I found it. No, there's still queen f6, right? Remember, this bishop's defended. I think he's looking for a way to trap the queen. Okay, he goes for it finally. Rook d8, was there bishop c7? No, there's no bishop c7, Banele. There's a knight on e8, so I was looking at that knight on e8. No, okay, so you guys are saying he doesn't see that he can take the queen. So he went for this, and Banele, being the strong player he is, he's calculated all of this. He doesn't go rook d8, just knight f6. And I can't believe I'm that stupid. I'm just calculating rook d8 the whole time. This makes a lot of sense. Or does it? Yeah, it does. You can move the bishop now. Yet, where are you moving the bishop to? Is that going to e8? Bishop e8. That doesn't look too fresh, right? So bishop e8, and I can just play d6. And this bishop on a2 seems very happy with this situation. Okay, but one last question, guys. I really needed to consider what's being thought about here. So knight takes, and you really need to go queen takes. You can't go queen takes because of the intermezzo check. So g4, and then there's only one square for the queen. And this is where Masiya was at. He's looking at a way to trap the queen. I think the next move is rook e5, forcing the queen to f3, and rook e3. Guys, we need to go back for this, because this is a way to trap the queen. Knight takes, g4, queen here, and then... Oh, there's also queen h4. Okay, there was no queen trap. Okay, so we've reached this situation. No pieces hanging. Still looking great for Masiya. Yeah, Masiya needs to convert this still, and one of the things he's not done too well is he spent about 7 minutes just now coming up with queen takes d7, while it was apparently the most obvious move. No draw, wait. Black offers draw just now, okay. Okay. So Masiya has declined the draw. He is playing for more. Banele went down game 1. Is he going down in game 2? Is he going down in game 2? Oh, you're right. There's no queen h4. There's queen f3. Oh, James, you're bringing up a good point. But did I ever play g4 then? Because it feels like I needed to play g4 to trap the queen. Okay, meanwhile... Oh, is Masiya really... Does he need to go for this? Bishop takes, pawn takes, rook here, this check... gets 2 pieces for the exchange. Oh, this seems very desperate. This seems very desperate, guys. I don't know. This doesn't... This doesn't... If it works, right? So... Trades... Okay, while this is being considered, let's just... This was the main moment Masiya was calculating, right? So, I think... oh, James, you're missing the fact that I needed to play g4 over here. Oh, wait. No, you don't need to play g4, do you? Ah, so tricky. You've also got bishop b1 off the queen takes. To try and trap the queen. Then he's got queen h5. I think this was... Masiya was considering a queen trap over here. But now we've reached this situation. We're going to have to go back on the analysis board afterwards and ask the computer for some advice, because that is just above my pay grade. And this is what happened. Just king g7, not going for any of Masiya's tactics, and that's been traded off. Masiya playing up a pawn. The exchange wasn't gone for, but now Masiya's up a clean pawn, and that's still the same pawn. If that pawn can be nipped off, which I think this is the next move, right? Defending and attacking. Although, wait, knight takes, what's the... Also defending f7. Masiya's blundering everything back. Knight takes d6. And he's no longer playing for the win. Knight takes d6 now. Banele's considering it. He will be playing it. $100 on him playing knight takes d6. Masiya will flag. Just watch. Does that mean Masiya was going to get flagged? Yo, Masiya's losing. This has gone horribly wrong. Knight takes f6. What is the... There's no idea after knight takes f6. Ah, d6, guys. d6. He's going astray, Riddix. This is knight takes d6. And Banele will be playing for the win over here. There's not much to be said. I think this way, this is kind of like a way you can transition into an endgame. I'm not liking it. I think maybe Banele will be taking with the knight and hoping for some tempo against this. So they're just converting into an endgame, and it's game on again. It's not a blunder. Lisa, what is not a blunder? Rook takes c8. Yeah. No, I know it's not a blunder, but he's not playing for any advantage anymore. Knight. Oh, okay, he did get this a7 pawn. Okay, Masiya's still in the game. Oh, okay, so was it necessary? Yeah, you needed to stop this tactic. Okay, Masiya's being sneaky. Okay, Masiya's back in the game, playing for a win still. Down on the clock still. Managed to sweep up a pawn in that line. I don't think he calculated all the way up till that pawn that he won on a7. I just think he went for what seemed plausible. Remember, his time is pretty low, so even transitioning into a drawn endgame. But he saw a way to get at least the pawn, and he's losing the pawn back, so I'm not too sure anymore. Yeah, maybe he should have taken the draw. But You know what? It's great that he's playing for more. He's definitely not the pushover in this tournament. I'm not sure who is, because so far, well, maybe he is. Banele and Masiya, these are the two that went down in round 1. So the weakest link will be decided out of this game. Well, technically like that. I know Banele, if he gets... He's by far the favorite. A lot of people were choosing him. Okay. Knight g5 with mate threats? Are we talking about pinning the bishop and then just playing bishop e5? Because as soon as you pin the bishop, the king's coming out. Knight g5 with mate threats. Masiya's holding up on the clock. He's really still holding on. There are enough defenders on this pawn. You can quickly count the 3 that are defending the pawn and the 3 that are attacking. And if you capture first, you'll have less pieces. So that's... I don't know. This is going to be Banele's game. He can't end this with a draw. There goes a piece. Wait, no, guys, sorry. Masiya's being tricky. Here goes the piece now, finally. And here goes the clock as well. Unless, I don't know, b6 and some kind of check. Whoa, guys, wasn't f6 winning a piece? f6, oh, there's still a check. Wait, no, a check. Okay, Banele just blundered f6. I think he could have gone for the piece. Okay, Masiya's still in the game. Is he dropping? He's not dropping a pawn because of h4, hitting f7. This is getting pretty tense. Masiya went down to not a lot of time there. Getting pretty tense, right? So trying to make a passed pawn. If the passed pawn can be protected by the bishop, just needs these 2 moves. Banele might be in some trouble again. So Banele needs to figure out what he's doing about it. Here's a solid move. Just attack along this line. And maybe he's planning knight e6. If rook here, check. You can still possibly push this a pawn. 9 seconds on the clock. Banele trying to flag in. Maybe he's not playing for enough anymore, which wouldn't be too great for him. If he really wants to try and play for a win, trying to set something up here quickly with knight and rook against this king without any pieces close to it. But meanwhile, Masiya's got a lot of compensation with these 2 passed pawns, and he's pushing the first one. Here it goes. Just continue pushing it. You can even capture. Wait, Banele wait. Check. Whoa, be careful now, be careful now, be careful now. Here's a mate threat, and there's nothing. Ooh, you can check, but you don't have a lot of time. You need to figure out how to get out of this. I don't think there's getting out. You need to play bishop f1. Oh no. Okay, you need to sack a bishop. Oh no. He sacks the bishop. Okay, he sacks the bishop. Increment is 5 seconds, guys. That was the threat. Check, and after the king was his mate, so... Actually, he could have started with just king h1. He could have just played king h1 earlier, instead of doing all of this nonsense. King h1, he found the idea. Would have been holding on to everything, but probably walking into a draw with all of these checks. What is happening here? Check. Oh my word. You can make a queen, but there's no stopping mate. Wait. You can stop mate. Wait, you can get a queen, but there's no stopping mate. Is this how Banele is going to win? Masiya's getting the queen, but that means nothing. There's no stopping mate on h1. And this is game over, guys. Knight g3. Nothing to do. One last check. Unfortunately, that's not stalemate. If this pawn was 1 square up, that would have been stalemate. How funny is that? How funny is that? This... If you could just manage 1 more pawn move, this would have been a draw. This is the strangest position I've ever seen, right? So... 1 more pawn move and... That would have been a draw as well, so... Whoa, crazy stuff, crazy stuff. But bishop d5 wasn't necessary. Just king g1 and bishop d5. Masiya was scared when he saw rook to d2. Suddenly Banele changing direction, going for the kill. He wasn't happy seeing this and suddenly just played bishop d5 after rook check. Said, I can't figure out a way to get out of this. King g1, king h1. Seems all reasonable and rational. Bishop d5, and unfortunately, I think it was lost. I don't think they're stopping this mating idea. If only you could get your pawn up one square, that would have been a draw still. Yeah, Masiya isn't making quick draws. Okay, but good luck to him, man. These guys are really coming for him. This is not an easy tournament to be part of. Let's see when the last round starts. Okay, okay, let me post round 3. That is the final round for tonight. Tomorrow night I will be at the same time, 6 o'clock, be commenting round 4. Well, not round 4. I mean round 5, 6, and how many rounds is that? No, round 4 and 5 and 6. So we're continuing with the tournament. But the final round, final pairings for today is Banele and Devon, and Keith and Mfundo. And I think Keith is smelling the fear. Masiya is just gathering himself, I guess, before the final round of the night, which should be starting soon. And we'll keep to Banele and Keith. They're playing different opponents. I'm actually very curious as to the Devon-Banele pairing. I think if Banele wants to get back in the tournament after losing against Keith, he really needs to take down Devon. And look at this winning... The winning line here, by the way, we were going to analyze this, was knight takes f5. Sorry guys, but queen takes wasn't the best. Knight takes was, and yeah, you guys are right. Knight takes f5 was the winning move. Knight takes f5. Queen, remember, you can't go queen takes because of this check, and it picks up the piece of the king moves and holding on to this knight. So queen takes is necessary. Also, the queen is undefended, so a bit of a tactic. And then g4. Queen only has one square, right? f6. And then the move d6. I think d6 is an insanely tricky move to find. What does it do exactly? d6. I was trying to find a way to trap the queen here, but I saw h4. James didn't miss this. Okay. But the move d6, and apparently you've got a lot of compensation. Presumably because this square is opening up for the knight. And... well, this check as well then. So, but d6, and I don't think any mortal will look at this position and say, I'm going to play d6. Especially if you're trying to figure it out all the way from over here. Okay, so they're starting 2 minutes again, so we're just going to recap some of the interesting nonsense over here. So, knight takes f5, right? Queen takes, and we also, up till g4, tried something. We remembered h4 was open. By the way, you can still harass the queen. Queen takes h3 and still play something like this and say, well, the queen is worthless over here. But queen f3, and I think... isn't the queen trapped? Wait. Apparently this is good for black, just to take the two pieces for the exchange. Okay, the next game starting. Devon and Banele. It wants knight d5, I think. Yeah. Queen takes d7 was good enough for a win. Unfortunately, that clock does a lot of the work for you. Banele and the guy that wins, he took him down actually twice in, well, one in the Olympiad selection tournament, and which was an insane game, by the way, their previous game. And then in another tournament that I did not follow, but it was a 60+5 tournament, and Devon was playing way too aggressively. So Banele's kind of got Devon's number, while Keith not yet completely. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe the guy that wins can prove us wrong. While Keith needs to start playing against Masiya. We'll keep the pages open. We have a closed game, d4, d5, very closed. Yeah. Is Banele going to pull another clock maneuver over here? One of the things some players do when they have a lot of time, they like running out their time, and they want you to try and pressure them on the clock in order to get you to move more quickly. So they can handle that time. If you're going to try and get them into more time pressure, you'll just be doing them a favor by making weaker moves. And then they capitalize. So that's also, it's like a strategy actually. So, okay. Very classical game over here. Classical approach, classical game. Round 3 of the night, and actually playing 15 aside against these types of guys, I can think that they're already pretty drained so far. These are a lot of games. So we've been playing a lot of chess tonight. Although it's only 2 games so far, I think this takes way more out of you than a few blitz games. That would actually be an interesting study. If I was into neuroscience, I'd be interested in how many lines you calculate during a blitz game versus how many lines you calculate during a classical game, and see if there's some way of measuring like brain intensity depending on how deep you go into a line or whatever, and to try and see what takes more out of you, blitz game or classical game, or how many blitz games equals a classical game, because I think we can already assume the classical game will be more draining. A lot of us remember those Saturdays, the over-the-ball tournaments where you play 5 games, but it takes you the entire day to get through all 5 games, to get to wherever the tournament is, and then to get back. I mean, that takes a lot out of people. 5 simple South African classical games, 1 hour aside, at whatever the location. It's the most draining of days, and actually takes away your entire weekend. Your entire Saturday is gone. But worth it. Okay, so it takes the pawn. Queen's Gambit accepted, but kind of later on. Banele gonna have to spend, well, a move or 2 to get the pawn back. And one thing it has done is it has made the pawn structures slightly asymmetrical. So when we look at chess, we want to see what's the same and what's the difference in our positions. So white has got a majority on this side of the board versus the 4 of here, 5-4, and actually a 2, but it will be a 3 soon enough. But there are situations where white allows this pawn to hang around still. So I don't know if Queen A4 is the necessary move to get the pawn back, or what the line is completely. Knight D2 and then B5 and then A4 and then C6. You can play a game that looks slightly like this, but maybe Queen A4 and just get the pawn back immediately. Stops B5 as well. Those that know theory in the Queen's Gambit accepted, what is the idea here for white? Are you supposed to play Queen A4, just go back for the pawn, and after B4 take the pawn, allow something like Bishop A6? I don't know, that just doesn't look good for black. Okay, so B4 isn't even gone for, although it was kind of possible. So I'm guessing the pawn will just be recaptured. Yeah, Devon is well known for his prep. And you can see that on the clock as well. He's very comfortable. This is Bobby Fischer-ish 95. Knight A3, Queen A4. Sorry, where? I think I was asking the question around here. So Queen Knight E5, yeah, here's the theory. Knight E4 and E5. Knight A3, stuff like this. Queen A4, Queen C2. These are the type of moves to get back the pawn and some development. Okay, well, we missed on something over here. Okay, so let's just go slowly through what happened. C6 prepped B4, which is a nice space on the queen side. And hopefully, if black can get in C5, this bishop's eyes will be open. And the pawn structures will be symmetrical again. And you won't have any like backwards e-pawn to worry about. But bishop E3, interesting, seems to cramp up the position. And this is the move I like to see. Go for the bishop pair, go for that central square. And Devon's getting a, well, can't exactly say better opening position completely yet. Here we go, bishop G4, and E4 is possible with tempo against that knight. And if you trade, what's the idea? Then E4 is still possible. Also, the E4 square is open for your knight, and if the E4 square is open for your knight, then that means the C5 square is open and this pawn's going nowhere. So that's what bishop G5 is about. So what about F6? Okay, so Liesel's saying this bishop is stuck in the matrix forever. This construction will never move. And maybe this is where we should be focusing, on the tension over here. If C5 can be played, then we'll be resolving the issue of this bishop that's kind of stuck. So that's what black's long-term plan is. And although bishop G5 seems weird, if the knight recaptures and goes to E4, we'll be seeing something end up on that C5 square, and that bishop just dead forever. Okay, that, yeah. Okay, F6, and what is the plan here? Could you consider even playing E4 immediately? S6, E4. It just doesn't seem like these guys go for weird continuations like this. I don't buy it. This loses a piece for white. F6, E4 is not possible, so you need to move the bishop. So bishop moves, let's say D7, still opening up this line for the pawn. Yeah, we do have F6. Okay, I like the feeling of F6. It's really fighting for the C5 square. That was what bishop E3 was about, just closing down C5. And the other Banele is saying that the fight, he should be playing C5 as soon as he can. Bishop's rerouting, rook C1, stuff like this will be challenging C5. If you play it immediately, you've got enough pieces to do so, right? You've got 3. We could be seeing a trades of knights. Not really, no. C5 takes, bishop takes. Seems good for black. The only weird thing happening is this F6 move, but honestly, it doesn't feel like the worst of weaknesses. This diagonal has been made weaker, so if the queen does end up over here, some pressure could be felt. But for now, this all seems fine, especially the e-file is closed and it's this pawn that's currently undefended. So we might see e4 soon. Okay, true. That was what I was worried about just now. So c5 can be met simply by e4. And you can run the knight back. Okay, so c5 is an honest question to white's position. e4 is an aggressive response. But knight e7, and then there's some central questions being asked. Black looking slightly better for play in the center though. I don't have admin rights, Ridix. I got an inbox from... who sent me an inbox just now? I just checked. Where's the guy now? Okay, I'm not... Fumilani sent me an inbox. But Ridix, you can just inbox me as well on WhatsApp. I don't have admin rights, but I'll ask them. They add everyone. That's at least South African. Yeah, Mfundo has. Okay, you can ask him. Banele might play knight e1. Okay, just because your name is Banele doesn't mean you know what Banele is thinking. I don't think he's thinking knight e1. He's thinking e4. Okay, so we didn't get c5 here. So no e4. And Masiya and Keith, they started slightly late, but let's get up to speed with what's happening over here. Another d4, and Masiya knight f6. King's Indian type line. Oh, Keith going for that pawn, guys. Did you see that? In this position, queen stopping castling, but taking the pawn allows you to castle. So black's okay with that. Says there's some tempos you're losing here. Queen needs to get out, otherwise that knight's going to be moving. And, well, that is a square that c5 was prepping. And who knows who's better? Who brought the most prep into the game? Okay. Okay, still slightly quiet over here in this game. Keith slightly underdeveloped. Who knows? Masiya has been having. He's had great positions. Well, not the first game. Devon's game, he was struggling to really get going. But he doesn't seem to care too much about pawns in the opening, so I don't think this will psychologically hamper him too much. We'll see where this goes. Keith slightly slow with his development. King still needs to get castled, which is going to cost him 2 moves, and in 2 moves a lot can happen, right? A lot can happen in 2 moves. So exciting stuff. Keith already up a pawn. Over here we saw the move rook c8 instead of something like c4. That Polygon recommends. Okay, I get why you guys want to go knight e1 to open the bishop's eyes. So shift over to that square as well. Okay, so I'm a bit of a putz here. I just wanted to make a joke about Banele, commenting on Banele. That was pretty much why I was dissing knight e1. But knight e1 is a perfectly fine move, right? Okay, bishop h3. This is more of a Firouzja move, right? Firouzja, and then Banele's been watching his games, I know, recently. We do have c5 finally after the rook came behind the pawn, and now you can threaten the situation over here. And actually, you're playing with a lot of tempo. c5 also protecting that e6 pawn, very importantly. Okay, you guys are talking insane stuff. I'm not referencing Victor Polygon. Okay, cool. So in the previous game, Masiya unfortunately got flagged. I wouldn't say flagged, but he managed to screw up a winning position against Banele, and mostly because he was running out of time. And he allowed that. He spent too much time calculating knight takes f5, and which was a good point in the game to actually go calculate. But I think the big problem was that as a human you need to play d6, or what was the move, d5. I think it was d6 then to open up the square d5 for your knight. The computer was liking that idea like very much. But as a human you're not really going to see that. So he spent a lot of time on something that felt right in his gut, but he couldn't completely figure it out till the end. And then went for his initial option, which he should have probably gone for immediately. So that's what went wrong there with Masiya's first game. In this game we have the 2 young ones. I think, are they both still under 16? I think Devon is slightly younger, or what is the story again? But these 2 playing at the moment, the game we're watching, they're really the hope for the country in terms of age, I'd say mostly. Okay, so there was a trade, and then knight goes to d4, attacking e6. This is now the focal point of white's position. Not that it means too much. I guess you can just play e5 and kick the knight out again. And there's actually some discoveries, not yet completely. Very brave move, right? Knight takes and then knight d4. Very brave. Allowing some discoveries, says that none of them yield anything. And f5 just shutting off communication, also giving a square to the knight on e4 if it ever wants to move with tempo against the queen. So that is the idea behind Devon's move. Okay, so that's a different strategy than for going for f5. Also just completely shuts out any communication and ideas along the light squares, and e4 as a move. e4 can't be played now, just simply knight takes. Rook c1 hangs, no e5. So e5 here, oh, the rook on c8 hangs. I'm falling for Firouzja's ideas. Okay, so Lisa's liking black here. Me too. I think Banele. It's got a lot of things to figure out and a lot of squares opening up for black's pieces. In the center, a lot of ways to advance. Bishop h3 wasn't accurate. Okay. Maybe 91 in that position, right? So 91 instead of bishop h3. Watching too many Fallujah games. Also, Carlsen, this is just like an average maneuver for them to apply some pressure in the center. Still, Devon doesn't have any great squares to leap to. I guess if you move here, just queen away. And no tactics yet. Oh, it feels crazy that tactically Banele is still surviving this position with this discovery looming. So, very brave player. Just sticking around during this pressure. It doesn't seem to... Okay, so other Banele feels bishop f5 makes this bishop look good. Yeah. Okay, so the knight did move. Okay. The knight did move to e4 with discovery against the queen. Queen d3, that's a square. Whoa, this is an insane position, guys. So many minors involved in the center. Queen's also close by. It just feels tactically. Jack apparently is present online. He just doesn't engage with a lot of players. He's a very private guy. He gets coaching from Caudry. Queen d3 is also attacking the b5 square. So I guess it's a threat, right? So he's just simply attacking a pawn. Bishop a6 can be setting up like even more tactics. Bishop a6, I like this move. Anyone care to refute it? I'm pro bishop a6, maybe something like rook c3. Oh no, that's not possible, right? Because this rook's also still guarding. Knight here, maybe? No, there's still a rook around. Why am I even doing that? Bishop a6, right? So what does white do against bishop a6? And what does bishop a6 threaten, right? It threatens nothing in particular, just to really upset the queen. Bishop a6 seems very cool. Okay. Okay, so you like rook f to d8. But rooks can be traded. There's no reason why white can't just remaneuver your rook. b4. Oh, just b4 by black now. That's a nice idea. Black has so many options. He's threatening the pawn, but you can play b4. This is a perfectly sound idea. But what about queen to b5 then? It seems strange, but it... No, you know what might be a tactical problem with queen to b5? So let's look at this line. Queen b5, knight takes d2. And the idea is if queen takes queen, then you've got this intermezzo check. So you can't take the queen then. And if you recapture the knight, then simply queen takes b4. Oh, but then the bishop's hanging on b7. And where are the pieces now? Whoa, okay. Okay, so b4 Riddix. My counter proposal is queen to b5. Okay, so let's see if queen b5 gets played. He needs to spot the tactic. Knight takes, queen takes, and then this piece is hanging back here. But this still seems better for black, but it's not tactically getting anything so far. So we have, wait, let's go back. Okay, so queen b4, trying to get rid of this queen at least, and go for a position where tempos against the queen will be at, well, slightly less, because something like bishop a6 is coming. So queen b4 seems necessary, but knight takes. What about something else? I'm looking at a very forcing line. That's the only reason why I'm going down this. What about something else for black here? Lizo, you're the one saying black has so many options. What is your counter proposal to my move? Queen b5. Queen b5. What is the idea then for black? The knockout punch. Knight takes, queen takes, drops the bishop. But maybe let's go for it. Queen takes. Okay, now most of the miners are gone. Oh, by the way, no. Guys, I'm just an idiot. There's another knight still on d2. You can go for it. Yeah, there you go. You take on d2. Ridix is like a moment ahead of me. This tactic doesn't win some pawns. Yeah, his knight hangs on d2. I'm not going deep enough. So queen here loses for white because of knight takes, and then queen takes, and queen takes on d2. Should be an extra piece. Oh no, guys, no, it doesn't. There's still this rook, the tension of this rook back here. So rook takes. This is deep. You can still go rook takes c8 as white. Like he doesn't go for any of that. Just bishop e3. Stop saying queen b5 is horrible for white. I think it's completely playable. There's rook takes c8 at the end that you need to worry about. So you might need to start by taking here maybe. Yeah, that's the winning. No, yeah, because no, yeah, you can do that. So instead of taking the queen first on b5, you can start rook takes because that forces. No, it doesn't. You can go bishop takes. Okay, guys, there's a long line to go calculate after the game. I'm not sure if Banele went through all of the options over there, but that was a pretty rich area to go calculate. And now he's setting up even stranger things over here, because now we've got bishop a6, which he says he's not afraid of. What is lost for white? Do you guys think this is now completely lost for white? I think it feels like it, right? Bishop a6. What is the master's, well, the FM's plan over here? He set up some kind of discovery, right? So there's going to play knight b5 with tempo against the queen, but then knight takes. What happens after bishop a6, guys? f4 looks interesting. Well, yeah, everything looks interesting here for black. Bishop a6, is he just planning queen b3? And this guy he's not going to go down, is he? You're going to play something like knight b5, attack the queen again, he's going to give up the exchange, you're going to recapture and he's going to do something, and then he's just going to be fine. Banele, how is he playing this even? How do you come up with the move bishop e3 while your opponent's threatening bishop a6? Okay, let's see what's happening in the other game. My attention's divided. Whoa, guys. What? The wolf is up so much material and Masiya's going down. Okay, 3 losses today. It's really a shame. Okay, what went wrong here, guys? We left it roundabout where Masiya was still pretty fine. So, okay, so he played knight here. I said he's got some moves before white gets castled. And then knight got trapped. And Keith is playing with 2 pieces against 2 rooks. 2 minors against the rooks. This is just winning for Keith. Okay, let's get back to this game. Bishop a6 is played. What was the FM's idea here? Bishop a6. This was my... Okay, well, he did go queen b3. And now knight c5. I guess he can get more than knight c5. He can give up the exchange. Then bishop takes. Does he claim that he's got some kind of pin here at the end of the day with the queen on b3? It might be worth going bishop c5. No, sorry. Knight c5, rook c5, rook c5. Is there anything to be said for if knight takes or whatever to go bishop c4 then? Hitting the queen back and off of this b3 square. I don't know. But probably knight c5 is being considered. Unless there's some other way. Knight c5 and then... Okay. Okay, I'm surprised. How's this even happening? Knight takes e3. In a position where everything is so... Everything's just hanging. Wait, there must have been a better option here. This just doesn't feel right. Knight takes e3. You can go queen takes e3. I'm not seeing the... There was more. There was definitely more. Yeah, time pressure killed Mfundo. I think maybe Mfundo killed Mfundo this time around. Got that knight trapped. He might have had more compensation. Mfundo challenging Grishuk. Yeah, Grishuk's habits of... Wait, okay guys, we're missing something, because obviously queen takes e3 isn't an option. But why not? Why isn't queen takes e3... Why isn't it an option? Because he went and he played f takes. Which is a move I don't like to make myself. Is it just to keep the queen on b3? F takes e3, just a simple move, and the game is still really on. I'm not a fan of knight takes e3 either. It's like Devon is not playing for more of here. Just is like a bit of a cop-out. Come on. There must be like knight to c5 here, harass the queen a bit more, and then... I don't know, then there must be something more. And now he just runs the knight back to c5. He's still better, definitely. Definitely better. At least now the queen's getting off of the b3 square, but don't be surprised to see rook takes c5, bishop takes c5, and then something like knight takes. We can definitely expect a sack exchange now. Yeah, knight takes f5, also a threat Banele is pointing out. Bishop that went to h3 after the move f5. Seems to have way more purpose now. It didn't seem to be a move that made too much sense a while ago. So... Why are you not happy with me, Jack? Okay, so rook takes c5 is played. And here comes the sack exchange. What are the options? Can you play rook takes and after knight takes go bishop c4? He goes bishop takes. Okay. So what's the idea? Ooh, bishop just takes. Okay. Bishop takes f5. Can we see another sack exchange? Just sack the exchange back. What are you talking about? I cursed the banana. Look at him now, long castling. What? What are you up to, Jack? Who long castled you? No one long castled. Okay, I don't get it. Okay. I like the idea of sacking the exchange back, right? So... Yeah. The knight on d5 is doing a great job. But I like rook takes now. Knight takes, and then just bishop takes. Oh no, that doesn't work, right? The knight on f5 is defending. Whoa. But you can go bishop takes here, right? That seems pretty nasty. Oh, who knows? Who knows? The guy that wins, sack the exchange back. You don't want to play up the exchange against Banele. If he feels threatened, playing down the exchange is always so fun. especially if you went for it yourself, because you've got some idea behind it, so you feel like you're in the driver's seat and you're pushing whatever situation it is. Playing up the exchange, it's like you're walking in your opponent's territory. I get it, Jack. No, it's because of the thumbnail that Mfundo is going down. I feel so sorry. Yeah, maybe we cursed him. But originally, when he showed me the lineup, I asked him, "Is he okay? Is he okay with the lineup?" Because he's playing with, the pretty big guns over here. Bishop c4. Someone's suggesting rook takes f5, knight takes f5, and then bishop c4. Aha! Here's the move. Nice. Kick the queen away from the fence of the e3 square. Okay, so something else has gone for. Bishop takes e6. Ooh, the guy that wins also going down on the clock over there. But he wants to play up the material. He wants to give up that pawn. Technically he's playing up one pawn. He's got a rook for a knight and a pawn. So there will be material equality. Yeah, Mfundo Longcastle, 0-0-0. Okay. Well, he's getting another chance tomorrow. So he actually had a big support group. Most of the people in the comment sections tonight were rooting for him. And honestly, well, it's always great that he's representing the older generation somehow. I think it's funny to call him part of the older generation, but us students, we don't have a player representing us. It's only all these schoolboys and girls taking the prizes in these tournaments. So we don't. We had a Matt Pond last year, but that guy's out of uni. So Masiya's got big shoes to fill over there. By the way, what is knight g5? No, knight g5. That just seems to lose the game, right? You just got rook takes, king takes. There's a lot of stuff happening after knight g5. But wait, doesn't knight g5? What's that all about? Rook takes. It's a strange move to do in the middle of a situation where this knight can be captured. Maybe just capture this knight. Bishop takes e2 as a threat. How come though? Knight takes e2. Bishop takes check. Oh, because of the knight hanging over here. No. But it does kind of feel like one of these players are overloaded. Okay, so he moved rook e8, rook f2. Banele shouting the move to Banele before he plays it. Okay, last game of the day. This was a very exciting. Well, we call it day one, and then tomorrow day two. Lots of nice chess happening. e6 is hanging. Okay, so when the queen was here, was it possible to take? Sorry, take. I guess knight takes, rook takes, king takes. This is tricky to navigate, guys. I don't know. I'm glad I'm not playing this against one of these guys. I guess both of them are scared to death for whatever their opponent can come up with currently. So no, bishop takes e2. So rook on f2. And I'm not sure what's happening. This is... Okay, I'm not sure. Right, so also down to 8 seconds over here, 7 seconds. This feels like a situation that might suit Banele running into this type of... Gives up the exchange, gives it back. Bishop takes, I guess. He's got some... what's the idea here? He can go bishop take... No, he can't. Just makes a waiting move. Oh, and now we get knight g5. And this is a threat, so... Oh, but knight check. Knight check. Ooh. Knight goes back. What was wrong with knight check? King moves. Oh, you can't move the knight again because it's pinned. Okay. No, guys, but I think knight check was really great there. Now, Banele somehow up 2 pawns. This is just magic. This is magic. Like, how does he do this? Up on the clock, up 2 pawns, but they're not great pawns, and these bishops are really slicing through. They're really slicing through the board. Some coordination on e3, you might just need to go back and defend it. Does it from the f4 square. And is kind of setting up some kind of back rank. Ooh, be careful, be careful. There was a way to trade pieces at least. Banele so quick, defends and counterattacks in one swift motion. I think both of them are prepared to make a draw over here. If we see queen f4, we're just going to see a draw. Devon is not up for playing anymore. Ooh, ooh, there's no more queen takes e3 stuff. And queen g6, is that a huge threat? Can you ignore it? No, okay, you need to respond to it somehow. Keeps the pin on going. It's not checkmate, sorry. No, Redix, I wasn't claiming it's checkmate, but it would have been a way to trade down at least the queen, because the queen would have needed to block. Okay, very interesting game so far. And can't Banele now kind of fix the bishop to the square soon after? No. But these pawn moves might be in vain. Oh no, Devon needs to come up with a plan quickly. So this is still a bit of a crazy position. Bit of a time scramble. Knight can't move too much because you'll be pinning your own bishop. Oh, Banele dropping a piece. There goes your bishop on f5. Uh-oh. This game is still going. This game is still going. Okay, pawn on b2. Check. Go back. You're up a pawn. You got a pawn as well. Ooh, this is also close to... You're almost home. Take the pawn on a2. Fall back again. And Devon, how did he manage this? This is witchcraft. Nothing was happening with this game. He can find safety with his king. He's fine to trade down queens. He can eventually push this pawn to a2. He can push it immediately, right? Oh, white resigns. White resigns. This pawn will be defended. It's going through. Nothing to do. What a game. And Devon takes the win. He's actually in the lead today. With the Wolf, I guess. The Wolf took down Banele and Masiya as well. Two of the favorites, actually. So a lot of you guys saying that Banele and Masiya were the favorites. And they both go down. Although tomorrow is day 2 and they will all be playing each other again, just with opposite side colors. So be sure to check in tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And those that have inboxed me, I will get you guys on the groups soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Well, tomorrow night. Okay, cheers guys.